They say a phone call is one of the most ordinary things a human can experience. A simple vibration in your pocket, a familiar sound cutting through the noise of life. But for 42-year-old Daniel Mercer, the phone call he received on November 13, 2022, was anything but ordinary. And the deeper investigators looked, the clearer it became that he had answered something he never should have, because the number that called in did not exist, had never existed, and according to telecom records, could not physically exist on any network in the world. It began at 1:14 a.m. when Daniel was sitting alone in his apartment in Maplewood Ridge, reviewing documents for work, when his phone lit up with an 11-digit number too long to be local, too short to be international, formatted in a way no carrier used, and blinking in a glitching gray instead of the usual white. And when he answered it, thinking it was some kind of automated scam, he heard something he described as breathing, but not from lungs, followed by a soft, distant ringing tone, not in his ear but behind it, like the sound was forming inside his skull. Then a voice, layered and distorted, speaking with an impossible delay, said his name twice, and then recited a date, January 4th, 2023, a date 2 months away, and Daniel, unnerved but rational, asked who it was, but the voice repeated the date, then whispered something like coordinates, though no one could parse what they meant. And after 7 seconds, the line cut with a sharp static pop that left a faint burn mark on the phone speaker mesh, something technicians later confirmed was consistent with electrical discharge, even though the device wasn't damaged. Daniel tried calling back, but his phone insisted the number was invalid, and when he checked his call log, the entry was missing, not blocked, not deleted, simply not registered, as if the call had never happened. Unsettled, he told a coworker the next morning, who laughed it off until Daniel showed him the audio recording he had instinctively started mid-call, and that recording became the single most disturbing piece of the case, because experts later confirmed that while Daniel's voice and background sounds were normal, the incoming voice on the tape did not match the acoustic signature of human speech, having frequencies outside the vocal range of any mammal and an underlying pulse that oscillated at 19 hertz, the frequency known to induce fear and hallucinations in humans. But what truly horrified investigators was that the recording contained a second voice layered beneath the first, a whispering tone repeating Daniel's home address, even though Daniel never heard it during the call. For the next several weeks, strange things began happening around him, lights buzzing when he entered rooms, electronics turning on by themselves, and random missed calls appearing on his phone with timestamps from years in the future, all variations of the same impossible 11-digit pattern. And despite his growing anxiety, Daniel kept brushing it off until January 4th, 2023 arrived, and the meaning of the call finally revealed itself. That evening, at exactly 1:14 a.m., the same minute as the original call, the power grid in his neighborhood failed, plunging Maplewood Ridge into darkness. And moments later, Daniel received another call, again from the impossible number. But this time, the phone didn't ring. The audio just began playing on its own, as though the device had answered without him touching it. On the line was the same layered voice, but now it spoke differently, calmly stating, "Your window is open," even though Daniel was in the kitchen far from his bedroom. And when he rushed down the hall, his heart pounding, he found the window wide open, frost on the sill, and a set of footprints, bare human, but inverted as though whatever made them had been standing on the ceiling before dropping down into the room. The call ended instantly, and Daniel, terrified, called the police. But when officers arrived minutes later, the footprints were gone, the frost melted, and the room smelled faintly of ozone, like air after a lightning strike. Detectives initially suspected sleep paralysis, hallucination, or even an intruder staging an elaborate event. But everything changed when they analyzed data from the cell tower logs for that night, because according to the network metadata, Daniel's phone both received and transmitted a signal at 1:14 a.m. Yet The system marked the origin point of the incoming call as NULL, meaning the signal did not come from any registered device, tower, satellite, or line, something that should be physically impossible. Things escalated 3 days later when Daniel received a third call, this one lasting only 4 seconds, during which the voice, now clearer, said, "Look outside." And when Daniel did, he saw a figure standing under the streetlight across the road, motionless, facing his window, its head tilted too far to the side. And even from a distance, he could feel something wrong with its proportions, as though the limbs were just slightly too long. He dropped the curtain and called emergency services. But when responders arrived, the figure was gone, leaving behind only a faint electromagnetic disturbance that caused all 3 police radios to malfunction simultaneously. After this, Daniel fled to his sister's home across town. But on January 20th at 3:03 a.m., her landline rang with the same impossible number, even though it wasn't connected to cellular networks. And when Daniel answered, the voice whispered, "Stop running," and the line cut. By now, telecommunications experts, paranormal investigators, and even university physics departments were studying the phenomenon. And one discovery terrified them all: the 11-digit number. Daniel kept receiving matched no format on Earth, but it corresponded exactly to a theoretical interdimensional frequency signature, described in a fringe 1980s research paper proposing that if something tried contacting our world from a non-telecom medium, the number would appear malformed, partial, or structurally impossible. Everything came to a head on February 6th, a little after midnight, when Daniel's phone lit up again, not ringing, just glowing bright white, and the entire device began vibrating violently before shutting off permanently. When he took it to a technician the next day, they found that the phone's internal antenna had been twisted into a spiral shape without any sign of heat damage or external force, something no known process could produce. Later that week, Daniel vanished from his sister's house while she slept. No signs of struggle, no footprints, no forced entry, and on the kitchen table lay his phone turned back on despite having no battery charge, left displaying one final notification. One missed call from the same number that never existed, time-stamped 3 hours after he disappeared. Police are still investigating, but the case file notes something disturbing. 2 officers who examined Daniel's phone later reported receiving calls from unknown numbers that didn't show up on their logs, and one officer's recording picked up the same faint 19 hertz hum Daniel's tape had captured. Today, the number continues to appear on random devices in Maplewood Ridge Television's baby monitors, disconnected landlines, and though no one admits answering, residents report a recurring nightmare. A voice whispering their names from somewhere behind the walls, followed by the soft, rhythmic beeping of a phone that shouldn't be ringing at all. And until Daniel Mercer is found, or whatever contacted him reveals itself, the town lives with the same unsettling question. If the call didn't come from our world, then what world is calling us now?